some bad picks today. We all did. The good news is you've got 2 hours to laugh about your poor decisions before you have to ruin your Sunday. Nick DiMartino is cracking the mic and pouring the drinks for the only sports show where we admit we don't know anything and then bet on it anyway. Welcome into the Saturday night edition of the ETB Lounge, where the takes are bad, but the jokes are even worse. Only live on the Empty the Bench Network. Now, here's your bartender of banter for the evening, Nick DiMartino.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Hey guys, welcome in to another edition of ETB Lounge. We got some new people on today. I'm Nick DiMartino. That's Harry Van Ness. That's Walter Deptuch.
How's it going?
Yeah, so a March Madness edition of ETB Lounge. Wow, we already got 51 people. That's not so bad. All right, so I guess we got to. What should we lead with? Bam Adebayo dropping 83. You guys good? All right, cool. All right, Bam Adebayo dropped 83. You know what I like about the Bam Adebayo dropping 83 points is that, and I feel like in today's sports world, all we ever do is complain. I mean, the guy drops 83 points, and like I feel like chronically online Kobe fans are the most miserable people in the world. It's all like they have to be competitive about like records being broken. They're like, it's 83, but it's not as good as Kobe's 81. It's like, I don't know, he just put up 83 points. Isn't that kind of a cool thing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. With basketball, I feel like it's, because there's already so many like good records in basketball. So it's like, even like a good day in basketball, people are like, oh, you haven't been as good as this guy.
I guess people get competitive about it, but like 83, I mean, Kobe scored 81 20 years ago. It doesn't happen. It's not like no-hitters in baseball where no-hitters just happen all the time. I guess if I were to put it in comedy terms, it reminds me a little bit of like when a comic does really well doing crowd work. People are like, it's not an ethical way of doing comedy. And it's like, like that's kind of what it sounds like. Oh, you're not hearing me?
You're no, what's it called? You're no Eddie Murphy.
Right. But it's like, well, people said the same thing about Eddie Murphy. Like Eddie Murphy was like the Bam Adebayo of comedy for a little bit. Like, Harry, are you able to hear me? All right. I guess he obviously can't hear me. That's all right. Go back and come back in. All right. Wait, he can't hear me, so that's not going to do anything. All right. So Eddie Murphy was like the Bam Adebayo of comedy. Like people would lecture him because he cursed too much and things like that. And that's that. I guess it's sort of like a similar type of thing where people talk about like ethical basketball. Bam Adebayo is a little bit like somebody who loses a lot of weight using Ozempic. Like he did it, he succeeded, but people got mad for not doing it the quote unquote right way. Like that's kind of what Bam Adebayo is.
People also in sports, it's all lines though. It's all like, oh, you're not my guy.
Yeah,
I'm not going to root for you, or you're my guy, so I'm going to overlook the problems. And you see that in every sport too.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it's just super. Like I don't know. All right, there he is. Yeah, hopefully Harry can hear it because when we first came in backstage, he was able to hear me just fine, and then all of a sudden, I guess that's the problem with doing virtual shows. Your sound just goes completely in and out.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder maybe if his because he was going in from his phone or a laptop.
I think it looks like it's his phone, but I don't know. I guess, but he was able to hear me just fine earlier, so I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I just think this whole thing is super weird, where people are like, sports fans. Like, I just feel like fandom as fans, we should like appreciate greatness and records being broken.
Back.
All right, I can hear you now.
Perfect.
Yeah, so in case you haven't heard, actually maybe you haven't heard because you couldn't hear us.
Yeah, literally, I couldn't.
Yeah, so we're talking about Bam Adebayo dropping 83, and we were just saying Bam Adebayo was almost becoming a little bit like the Eddie Murphy of basketball. Like he succeeded at the 83, but people are mad at him for not doing it ethically. If that
Yeah,
makes sense.
makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So Bam, look, the way I see it is that I don't really care that much about a regular season game between the Wizards and the Heat anyway. I mean, for everybody who gets like mad about this, it's like, would you even have tuned into the game or remembered that game was even happening?
Not
If
unless I
not
was
for
at
Bam,
yeah.
if not for Bam Adebayo's 83. So
Yeah.
why are you so mad about like the whole ethical basketball concept of it? Especially from Kobe fans. Kobe fans of all people, that Kobe's 81-point game, if you look at the box score, if you look at like the play-by-play, the only guy who even touched the ball in the fourth quarter was Kobe. Like hardly anybody even was able to do anything because he was just chasing that record. But Bam Adebayo's not allowed to do it.
No.
So what the people who are saying it's not ethical, what did he do that wasn't ethical?
Well, there was nothing about it. Well, here's the thing. People are talking about it like for instance, making millions of dollars by scamming people is unethical. We all agree on that.
I don't. I thought this was a gambling podcast, and you're saying it's not ethical. No, of course, scamming people's unethical. Yeah,
of course. But okay, fine. Most of us, except for Harry, agree that scamming people for millions is not ethical. People are talking about it in the same way because it's not "quote unquote" real basketball. But here's the thing: nobody can put up those types of numbers, like scoring 83 or 100 or even 60 most of the time. Nobody can score that much without forcing it. Kobe forced it. Not the only time Kobe forced it. Kobe forced it with his 81-point game too, just like Kobe's final game. Like it's almost like this weird sense of like sports OCD, if it makes a certain amount of sense, where people are like looking at a regular season basketball game that's otherwise pretty meaningless and are mad that it's not in the most, I don't know how do I put it, the most pure they didn't play in the purest type of way. And I get so flabbergasted by sports fans who feel that way, who think everything needs to be by the book. I mean, I appreciate the occasional off the book type of thing. The game was over anyway. Of course they're chasing the record. I mean, they're supposed to beat the Wizards anyway. They were up by 20 points. Who cares? Like, I don't understand it.
Oh, so you're basically people are complaining because they were kind of stacking the points, like they were running up the score.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a sport. Anytime somebody complains about running up the score, it's so dumb.
Like it's at the end of an NHL game, a guy has 2 goals. Their team goes out of their way to get the puck to him to get a hat trick. Is that unethical?
No.
Exactly. So why would Bam get an 83 points? Why would that be unethical?
Well, what do you want him to do? Not
exactly.
Do you want to just chase him out, take him out after the? What do you want to do? Just take him out after the after the third quarter? You got me saying period. You're talking about hockey.
Yeah.
After the third quarter, because they're like, hey, we don't really need him anymore. Like, what else is he supposed to do other than chase the record at that point? Like I don't even understand. I feel like you would have more of a reason to complain if it was the other way around and they were just worried about resting Bam instead of chasing the record and witnessing history. Like, to me, I am somebody who loves history. Like, I love history and I love witnessing history. I want to see more history. And in sports, whenever history is made, you're forcing that thing. You're forcing that record being broken. I mean, you guys might remember this. You're both a little older than me. Jose Reyes, one time, he took himself out of a game so he could win the batting title.
I remember that. And then left for free agency a couple months later.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that type of thing happens all the time in sports where there really is no other way to like break some of these records without really forcing it in ways that are sort of unethical to basketball. Like, don't you think it would have been a lot weirder if Miami didn't care about their teammate breaking the record? Don't you think that would have been a lot stranger if they just didn't give a shit and they were just like, hey, let's just focus on this regular season basketball game and playing, pure
the Washington
basketball.
Wizards, yeah.
against the Washington Wizards. And by the way, for everybody who's talking about how like he was trying to downgrade this, every single team has had a chance. Harry's dropping again. That's twice. What do you think the over-under is from the number of time Harry's going to drop? This is a gambling
using
podcast.
the cell phone, probably. Oh, he uses it in a basement, but I'm also in a basement. So
yeah, you know what? Internet's a weird thing. That does happen. Look, I don't blame him. It happens. I don't think it's a phone thing. It's an internet thing. His internet might just suck.
So clicked out. Sorry.
You have like the Washington Wizards of the internet. Like
I live in the woods. What can I say?
You live in the woods?
Yeah.
New City.
Oh, thanks for broadcasting my address out.
I didn't say what state. I didn't say what state. It could be new city. It could be any new city. It could be a brand new city. It could be an old new city.
The old new city.
At least I'm not giving them your address.
Yeah, let's change the subject right now.
We're not that popular. No,
definitely not a certain number and a certain.
First of all,
no. Yeah.
Given the internet by you, nobody's going to want to go to you. So
that's fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, what were we talking about? Yeah, we were talking about your internet.
Yeah, it sucks.
Briefly,
and it's running up the score on him getting dropped on the show.
Yeah. So we're talking about running this weird sort of
So are they mad because are people mad because they were upset that like, oh, he ran up the score and that's how he got this and that's how he got to 83? Because like, I don't know, be mad at the team that didn't stop him. How about that?
Right. Well, no, it wasn't that. They were mad. And by the way, unless you're playing like Little League, there's no reason to be mad that like I understand with like children, you're playing, a bunch of 12-year-olds are playing, you tell the team not to run up the score. But like in professional sports, I don't think any serious person gets mad about teams running up the score. No, what they were mad at is that it was forced, and he went to the foul line 43 times. It's like, okay, well, getting fouled, it's not his fault he kept getting fouled. I mean, getting fouled is just a part of the game. That's really, I mean, that would be like saying an NFL team scoring a bunch of points doesn't count if they got a lot of their points through field goals. Well, field goals are a part of the game. Like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even logically make sense to me.
And what's Bam supposed to do at the free throw line? He's supposed to pretend he's Shaq and just miss 40 times?
Yeah, like what is... No, but it's like, yeah, it was forced, and who cares? The bottom line is, who cares? And these people, like, they don't understand anything about history. First of all, it's not even like, there's Ray. Yeah. Oh, geez, man, I can barely see you.
Hold on.
Hey, Ray.
No,
you in a war film.
I'm not that dark. Come on now.
Somebody's going to come out and shoot him in the middle of this, it looks like.
Oh, there you go. All right.
You look like you're being held hostage in a boiler room somewhere.
No, I'm in my car. I was filming my podcast earlier, and then we got pushed back like 45 minutes, so I'm like 45 minutes behind where I wanted to be. Yeah.
No, it's all good. I mean, but I still haven't even made an appearance on your podcast yet.
I know you're supposed to, and then it got debunked.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. A show called Caffeine Overdose, which is Ray's podcast, which he does with Brett. Brett was on this show a couple of weeks ago. That was the episode that I was puking in. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I heard.
Yeah, that was the episode where I was puking. No, I think Caffeine Overdose is a perfect podcast for me to be on. Because if I were to die of any overdose, I think it would be caffeine.
Why, you drink a lot of coffee?
Oh, you remember when we were in Austin?
Oh yeah, you did need your Starbucks.
I needed my Starbucks like twice a day. So yeah, I'm a huge addict. By the way, we're talking about Bam Adebayo dropping 83 on Tuesday night.
Did you guys also think like the internet thought that it was not comparable to Kobe's game?
I think it's no. We were talking about how the internet is full of crazy people. First of all, like I said before, chronically online Kobe fans are super, super miserable people. Like, they can't appreciate anything. Everything has to just be compared to how Kobe's wasn't good enough. They're like the type of person that can't enjoy food. it has to be like they can't go to a restaurant and enjoy like a dish that like my mother's was always better. Like that's what these chronically online Kobe fans are like. They just can't enjoy anything in the world. Actually, The Onion had a really good headline. It said probably the best Onion headline I've ever seen. It said Lakers fans furious as Bam Adebayo dies in even worse helicopter crash.
Yes, I saw that. I was dying at that.
I actually remember the day Kobe passed away. I was actually with Walter doing a podcast with Walter that day.
Oh, really? I remember where I was. Yeah. It was actually before I ever did comedy. I was at a Greek restaurant in Astoria. Oddly enough, for a memorial.
Mm-hmm. It was at least. I'm sorry to interrupt. Was at least your Euro good?
I didn't have that, but I had some. It was really good. Greek restaurants in Queens are all really amazing. But yeah, the food was really good. And I remember at first I thought it was fake. Like it took me a while to actually decide. Oh yeah, this is a real story because I thought it was totally fake.
Well, now that Harry and Walter are doing another podcast tonight, I'm sure LeBron James is going to die in a plane crash, right?
Prayers to LeBron.
Boat accident. We already have it set up.
Okay, yeah. I figured something bad's going to happen.
Yeah. So no, I think the internet, it's just full of a bunch of the internet. All people on the internet want to do is complain. Like they can't enjoy anything. It's like, what is even the point of being a sports fan if you can't enjoy witnessing history on some level? Like it's just kind of a cool thing. And like it's not even like it's just people on the internet. It's like sports media personalities that are angry about this. Like guys on ESPN are like having the same type of take, which is super strange coming from people who work in sports. And I think it's disingenuous because stories like this are good for them because it actually gives them something to talk about. Like, right. There's no way they'd rather Bam Adebayo just have a regular 30-point game or something like that against the Wizards. Like, they want history.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you accusing people on ESPN of having ridiculous takes that really they don't believe in?
Yeah, well.
I'm sorry. The Stephen A. Smiths of the world are reacting very shocked right now.
Yeah, well, look, I don't even think Stephen A. Smith is the worst of it. I think that, like, you know who I think might be the worst of it is somebody like Ryan Clark.
Yeah,
I think he might be the crazy. He might be the worst of it. But yeah, some of that. But I actually think some. But I also think some sports media people are actually just that crazy. I think some people are just that crazy that they just don't realize the cognitive dissonance. Like they're almost lying to themselves. Some of them, it seems like.
Yeah, well, I think it's just been sports media. Anything on cable television, whether it's FS1 or ESPN, has been like that. Where it is who can have the hottest take that somebody's going to clip up, and then it's not about like a reasonableness thing. They don't really care about sounding reasonable. They just care about, hey, who's going to watch me more.
Yeah,
that's why Skip Bayless is one of the highest paid announcers on TV. So,
well, he's not on TV anymore. He even gave his take on the Iran war.
Oh God, I don't even want to know what he said about
I don't know what position he took. I just saw on Twitter that he had that he gave his take on the Iran war. I assume it was something like LeBron couldn't have taken out the Ayatollah.
If Jordan would have the straight open by now.
It's better than if it was like Chris Collinsworth. He'd be like, "Well, I need Pat Mahomes out there."
Yeah, we need to send Pat Mahomes to Iran. That sounds like that would be a Chris Collinsworth thing. There's a kid on TikTok who does like the most amazing Chris Collinsworth impression. And I think Chris Collinsworth is now getting wind of how much people are talking about how much he talks about Mahomes, that he's like starting to stop talking about Mahomes a little bit because he's so self-conscious of it.
Yeah, that happened in the AFC Championship game. So there was like some type of play where he's like, "Oh, I know everybody's gonna say, you know, I talk about Mahomes a lot, but he would have made that throw." You know?
Yeah, it's all like,
it's like, all right.
No, seriously, it's like it's all hypothetical. Like Patrick Mahomes might never be, it might not even be in the game, have nothing to do with anything, and he would just be like, "That throw looks a little bit like Patrick Mahomes." Yeah, or Patrick Mahomes would have made that throw. It's like, It's like out in college football when SEC fans talk about like the hypothetical SEC game. It's like sometimes their argument is, well, this team, they wouldn't beat, they wouldn't win. They don't play an SEC schedule, or they don't, if they had played this SEC team, they would lose. Like it's just like the sort of like circular logic type of thing. Like I remember after Indiana won the national championship game, there were some tweets from SEC fans saying they wouldn't have beaten the 2019 LSU team. It's like, who gives a shit? Like if they would have or wouldn't have beaten them. Like,
true.
The hypothetical SEC game. Yeah, no, I just think the bottom line is when it comes to Bam Adebayo, I think it's really cool that he put up 83. I enjoy witnessing history, and I think people on the internet are just so fucking miserable about everything.
Plus, the highlights were great. Like, obviously, they're, 20 for 43, yeah. But, like, the highlights were still, like, great. Like, he was still playing like a dog. And, like, even the fouls he got, because he took, like, what? He made 36 foul shots, something like that.
Yeah, he got to the foul line like 43 times.
Right. Ooh. But even all those fouls, not all of them were, like, given to him. Like, he totally, they were well-earned.
Well, it's not his fault they kept fouling him, and the Wizards don't know how to play defense without fouling. Right. I mean, the Wizards are also a young team. They're old. The oldest player in their starting five is 21.
Yeah.
I mean, because Trae Young didn't play that game. Like, that's insane to me. Chad Baker-Mazara, the guy who was just dismissed from USC, he's 26. So he's playing, it's essentially a college team. There were college starting lineups older than the Wizards starting lineup.
Right. It's true.
Like, I think that has that has something to do with it too. But here's the thing though. Kobe never held the record. Like Kobe fans are acting as if he broke Kobe's record. Kobe never held the record. Wilt Chamberlain held the record.
So that record that we know actually happened, though. We don't know about.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. A lot of people legitimately, especially Kobe fans, probably think that Wilt Chamberlain didn't actually score 100 points. That's a common conspiracy theory amongst basketball fans or amongst sports fans in general, because there was no footage of it. But what people don't seem to understand is that this was in 1962. There wasn't footage of every game back then. The NBA was not that popular. It was more comparable to what the WNBA is today. In 1962. It was a different world.
That's a low blow, brother.
What?
That's a low blow.
It is. It was a different world.
WNBA.
Oh, no. I thought you meant the 1962 art.
No. But it's crazy, too, because I believe he did it. But at the same time, it's like, all right, he's 7 foot. Everybody else in the league is probably 6 foot flat. He's a foot taller. There's no 3-second rule. The only thing that's weird about it is he doesn't have a string of like 90-point games and 80-point games also. That's the only thing that's like weird. If he could do that every night, like why would, he should have, more games that are close to that, you would think.
Well, it's not something you can do every night because, like we said before, you can only score that many points if you force it. Like the Warriors were fouling the Knicks on purpose just to get Wilt more possessions so he can put up 100 points.
That's another thing with Bam. It's like if you have a guy that's already put up 67 points and you have that much time on the clock, give him the ball. You know what I mean? It's like let him make something happen. It's like he's already, past 60. It's crazy. Just give him the ball. Yeah,
like I don't know what else you want them to do other than force the record. Like that's really it. Like, same thing with Wilt. They forced it with Wilt. I think that I'm a little bit of a conspiracy theorist myself. I believe in some conspiracy theories, but sometimes I think the conspiracy theories that are real are not the ones that you think of right away. Like the Wilt 100 points not happening. That doesn't even really make sense to me. Why would they just make up a story of Wilt scoring 100 points? Like that doesn't even make a ton of sense to me. Here's one conspiracy theory that I believe in sports. That Michael Jordan was suspended, or kind of believe in. Not like full I don't wholeheartedly believe this, but I believe it a little bit. The Michael Jordan gambling conspiracy theory that he was suspended for 2 years for betting on basketball instead of retiring. That one I think makes a lot of sense.
Well, did you see when they asked the commissioner that in the Last Dance?
Yeah, and of course he said that was ridiculous when they asked David Stern, and of course he was going to say that. He's not going to admit that publicly.
But it is he had a good point, at least. He had at least a good alibi of it's like, this guy makes us the most money out of any other player. He's the best player in the league. We generate so much revenue just because of him. Why would we, suspend him?
Well, the argument against that would be because they had to. That would be the argument because
right.
He can't by betting on betting on his own sport.
Yeah, no, that conspiracy is definitely believable.
Yeah,
it's believable. Like, I'm not saying I absolutely wholeheartedly believe it, but I think it makes more sense than the whole Wilt Chamberlain didn't score 100 points. I don't. A lot of people believe it's almost a little bit like the Wilt 100 points, a little bit like the moon landing of sports. Like it happened a long time ago, and because of that, people think it just didn't happen. Like, people think everybody just faked it,
like orgasms.
Yeah,
I also think the thing about faking it though with the Wilt, like, first off, it's the you have to have like the motivation to fake it, like you said before. What was the motivation to go ahead and have him score 100 points and run around telling everybody? There's also still witnesses. People were at the game.
Yeah, people were there. So there's how would you have ever orchestrated that entire thing to just fake 100 points?
Like, you would have had at least one person go like, no, it didn't happen.
Well, exactly. Some people are saying that, like, well, nobody's coming forward and saying that they were at the game. It's like, well, how many people do you know who were at any game? How many people do you know who were at like the Game 7 2016 NBA Finals game? Like try finding somebody who was there. It's not going to be that easy.
Well, especially if you're talking about a conspiracy theory that's more because of time, like you're saying with the moon landing, where it's like you're talking about something that happened in the 60s. You'd have to find somebody who was 20 years old in the 60s. How old are they now? 80.
Yeah, most of the people who would have been I'm sure most of the people who were at that game are now dead. Most of them.
But I feel like there would have been some kind of discussion about it not being real between the 60s and like the early 2000s. This is, how much has this come up until very recently?
Well, but we're also like, all these people are trying to fit like a early 1960s screw into like a modern hole, if that makes sense. Like, not everything that people didn't have cell phones back then. Not everything was on camera. The NBA wasn't the league that it is today. Like people just don't seem to understand that. I mean, I feel like if that happened during the age of social media, it would have been the same thing. Everybody would have been mad that, well, the Knicks just stink, or the Sixers, that's the Warriors, they forced it, and it would have just been the same exact thing. So I don't know. Can we talk a bit about NFL free agency?
Yes.
We got some. Our Jets are going. How many Jet fans do we have on this panel? Me, Ray,
and Harry.
Oh, that's right, and Harry. Yeah, I forgot. You're probably the only Jets / Ole Miss fan to ever exist.
Yeah.
So you want to start with the Jets? You want to start with the moves that they made?
The Jets, we're going back to our abusive ex.
You know what? I was actually when we first drafted Gino, I wasn't a fan of the pick. I wanted him benched, pretty much since we got him. But then it was 2015 offseason. I'm like, what? His interceptions did go down. He's been playing relatively well these final few weeks. I'm ready to embrace him as my starter. And what happens in training camp?
Yep.
The knockout blow.
Well, that was after he got drafted, but
I was saying his first couple of years, I wasn't a fan of his, but it was after his second year. I'm like, you know what? There's clear improvement here. We could work with this guy. And then, yep.
I liked watching him at West Virginia, and when he was at West Virginia, I kind of wanted the Jets to get Geno Smith, but at the same time, it's like, I was 15 years old. I was stupid.
How old is he now?
35 or 36. So he's going to look, and not only that, it's not even like he's coming off a good year. He's coming off a terrible year. Now he's only another year older with an even worse coaching staff and a tougher division. What's going to go wrong here?
Well, I also wonder how much he fits within Frank Reich's mold of like quarterback. You know, with Reich, we've seen guys like Phillip Rivers, Jacoby Brissett. There was a lot of talk about maybe they would trade for him, and then bring in Geno, who I think worked best under like a Shane Waldron style, like kind of very rudimentary play action offense. I don't know how well he's going to fit with Reich, who I thought it was a very interesting decision to go that route. But I feel like they're desperate. Like every move they made this offseason, they're signing a 38-year-old linebacker. They traded for Minka Fitzpatrick. Now the trade for Minka Fitzpatrick wasn't a big deal, but the deal they gave him was like 3 years, $40 million. Eventually we'll see what ends up happening with the money on that, like how much is actually guaranteed. But Osai's been like a third rusher for the Bengals. You have Kingsley Enagbare, who, again, another dude who was more of a rotational dude. I'm not sold on any of their. Oh, and then also Onyemata, another 30-something-year-old. I felt like this would have been a good year to try to sign like a lot of younger guys that are on the trend upward. And I felt like a lot of the decisions they made, they went for a lot of old dudes at positions that, they probably need, but a little bit of desperation.
Yeah.
I mean, like, was Geno Smith? He was barely even good enough to be a starter last year. I mean,
I'm just not getting the logic as to why they would go with him. Now, I'm sure when the draft comes around, they'll get a quarterback. He'll start, he'll fail, and then we'll be stuck with Geno for however many games, and then we'll have a comparable season to this year. In my opinion, I don't know.
I think worse. It'll probably be even worse. No, the Jets, they're totally just insulting our intelligence. I mean, I think it's because they said that. I think Darren Muji said that he thinks Geno Smith is an above average starter.
I don't know.
He's had maybe maybe 2 years where that statement applies. Not anymore.
No, not even close.
He wasn't that bad on the Seahawks, but
no, on the Seahawks he had his first year as a star on the Seahawks, he was good, but it was just and the second year is decent, but then last year and the year before,
he's an interception machine. He's getting older. We also need a quarterback who will not run the ball either, in my opinion. Kind of, we need somebody who's gonna like plant their feet and like read the field. In my opinion,
you need a guy who's a little bit mobile, but in Geno's
a little bit, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, in Geno, I don't know. Look,
like I would take Matt Stafford. You know what I mean? Right now, it's like
unfortunately, that wasn't an option, but yeah. No, we could have got. Well, look, I don't know what the Jets are going to do at quarterback, but like, here's the thing: if they had just said, "Look, it's the best we can do right now," I can at least sort of accept and respect that statement. Right. But to just lie to our faces like that, like, Jet fans aren't brilliant. We're Jet fans.
But my main thing is, if we're gonna just throw away one season, why can't we just have a nice fuck around, have fun year with Jameis Winston?
Yeah, well, that would be a lot better. And Jameis Winston's been almost everywhere. I would rather have Jameis Winston right now than Geno Smith easily.
Yeah. But the Giants would have to be willing to trade away their backup, and I don't think they want to. I think they want to have somebody who's high level in the room with Dart.
That's fair.
Yeah, and there's a good chance, and there's a good chance Dart's going to get hurt too.
It happened how many times last year?
Yeah, well, because he kept a lot of that was on Brian Dable because he kept running all these design runs for him to just get crushed every time.
Yeah,
because Dable was coaching for his life, and that's the problem. Dable cost him his job by running Dart into the ground and also keeping Shane Bowen as the DC. Like that defense performed terribly under Bowen both years. They should have fired him right away, and then that ended up playing terribly for him. But I think again, that's why I think Jameis ain't going anywhere. They have him on a good cheap deal, like I think $4 million. So they were never trading him away while they could keep him there as the high end backup. Geno I think was just like, listen, they didn't know how the musical chairs of quarterbacks was going to go. And Geno was like not fighting on going to the Jets, which is like I think what a lot of other quarterbacks would have done.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I feel like Geno's been everywhere, and he's like I don't know. He hasn't been on the Jets in almost 10 years now. Almost 10 years. So maybe like 2026 really is the new 2016.
Yeah.
Like we keep hearing on the internet. Maybe we need more trends like this. we need maybe we need more maybe we need Kyrie Irving back on the Cavs and all that.
Give it year Sam Darnold will come back.
Yeah, bring back Sam Darnold. Yeah, exactly. Well,
I don't think that's an option right now, but
I said
no,
6 years.
no, unfortunately not. But yeah, well, no. If 2026 is the new 2016, Sam Darnold needs to go back to USC, which is something I'd like to see too. I mean, I don't know. Look, I remember Sam Darnold at USC. He was amazing when he was at USC. And then I've never seen like a quarterback revive his reputation to the extent that Sam Darnold has. I don't think we've ever seen that before, where you can just be labeled a bust and then just become an elite quarterback. I don't know if we've ever seen that.
maybe the closest might have been like Doug Flutie. But he was elite in Canada before he.
It's hard for me. I mean, I guess it's hard for me to say because that was before I was born.
Yeah.
But certainly from anything I've ever witnessed, that where a player just completely was just deemed a bust and all that, and then was able to come back and just totally win a Super Bowl. Imagine the funny thing is that if 5 years ago, that of all the quarterbacks drafted in 2018, the first to win the Super Bowl would be Sam Darnold, you'd say that sounds completely crazy. But if I told you that in 2018 when the draft actually happened, you'd be like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, well, because if you told him he wasn't going to be on the Jets for his whole career, I think people would have had a lot more. Because at that time, I think he was favored to go to number 1 before, like he was expected to go before Baker at that point.
He was
before the draft.
Well, what happened was I think every other team wanted Darnold except Cleveland. I think they were the only team that wanted Baker Mayfield.
Buffalo apparently had Josh on the number 1 of their list. There were a lot of teams that liked Baker too. Jets liked Baker a lot back then. Giants didn't. Giants picked Saquon.
Yeah. And they would, the Giants still had Eli at that point, but he was very old. Like he was
a husk. He was a husk. That guy was barely functional.
He got. Speaking of which, it was like 2017, the season before that draft. Eli actually got benched for Geno.
He did, and people were like really mad about it. But I think like Giant fans are like Yankee fans. Here's the thing: Giant fans, because most Giant fans are also Yankee fans. They love the history. They're very obsessed with like the history of everything, and the fact that Eli won them 2 Super Bowls made them like want to just ignore how bad he was in the moment, rather than just focusing on winning. It's like, well, he won us 2 Super Bowls, so we got to keep him in. Like that was just the attitude of a lot of Giant fans.
Definitely,
but it's really
Matt could do his job.
Yeah, well, Matt,
I think he was a good head coach. He wasn't.
Oh, he was terrible. But you know what? He could have been worse. He at least got them to a playoffs. He at least got them to the playoffs once. He could have been a lot worse.
That was Spagnuolo.
He wasn't as bad as Joe Judge.
Because that was the year when they got to the playoffs. They spent all that money on they had brought in Olivier Vernon. They had Dalvin Tomlinson that went alongside with Snacks Harrison. So they had that D line that was so thick you couldn't run on them. And then they had a back end with Janoris Jenkins and Eli Apple. And that was like one of the few years Eli Apple played well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Eli Apple was he was really good in college. Like he was good for a few years in the pros, but I don't know. I feel like
it was all here. That was the issue was allegedly with him.
The problem with corners is that they're never good for a long time. They're like overpriced sports cars. Like they're really cool in the moment, but then they just break down.
Well, because your job is to go ahead and if you're a man coverage corner, your job is to shadow some of those athletic dudes on the field. And if you're a zone corner, you're tackling dudes. So you're going to get injured either way. And all you need is to slip up one time to look terrible.
And they're also, it's the most athletic position on the field. It's probably the most athletic position in sports, actually, if you think about it. So because of that, your peak athleticism doesn't last very long. And they're also the smallest guys that actually tackle by far. So I think that probably has a lot to do with it too. I mean, most of these corners are lighter than I am. Like most of them are under like 200 pounds. So, and they're usually under 6 foot most of the time. So they're smaller. So I think it hits them a little harder. Because if you look at all of the corners, it's like all the all-time great corners. They were only great for a couple of years. They're like Dane Cook, you know, in comedy terms, like all these great corners. they never
You're
left.
very popular with young women.
Well, I'm sure that too. I'm sure that too. Well, I guess by that standard, Bill Belichick is a lot like Dane Cook too.
Hey, yo.
He continues to trend upward. I just felt like this year's free agency was so boring. Every year feels like an exciting one. This year did not.
I don't know. There were a few notable things though that happened, like Kyler Murray to the Vikings and Tua to the Falcons. I think those are fairly interesting free agent moves. But I don't know. NFL, I guess it depends on the year, kind of. The weirdest was Kenneth Walker going to the Chiefs. The Chiefs. You don't see but yeah, Joe, I guess the Chiefs dynasty might be back on. We're gonna go back to having Chiefs fatigue.
Yeah, but Mahomes won't be ready till probably November at least. So we'll.
Yeah. Well, even if it doesn't happen this year, it's like
yeah.
Well, that's actually my question is if they don't, I heard that a couple of times, but I haven't heard it like officially report that he's not going to be ready till November. He might not be back to 100%. I can't imagine he's not going to be ready till November just because there's no way they would go into this. Like, we're going to sign a $13 million a year running back who has an injury history and all this. Like, also, again, there was a lot of dudes who were available for them to trade for. Like, Geno Smith contract wise for the Jets is nothing.
Yeah.
But they also let Minshew walk to go to Arizona. Like, they don't have a backup plan really right now if Mahomes is not ready.
And how long is that's a good point. How long is the recovery typically for an ACL? Like
about 9 months.
Year? 9 months, so it's like he's pregnant.
Yeah, like if it's a normal ACL, like a typical ACL is about 9 months for full rehab. You can get back to the field. If it's something a little bit more, if you have like an ACL meniscus or ACL PCL, it takes a little bit longer. And they still can get back to the field, but it's also the full rehab time of getting back to full speed that tends to be an issue. That's why you'll see some guys come back, and in like a year they're like that. They come back and they're perfect. Remember the Jamal Charles, Adrian Peterson years. But then you'll see some guys it takes a full 2 years to come back. I think it also depends on your athleticism and your position. With Mahomes, he's playing quarterback. He is a more mobile quarterback, but he's not reliant on his mobility, at least as far as running goes. Although this year he was running a bunch.
Well, yeah, because his offensive line sucked. So when the pass protection breaks down, they end up running a lot. But even
Nick,
if
am I able to jump off for just a minute and then because now I'm home, I can run in my house?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah, that's
okay. Beautiful. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So I was saying, he was running a lot this year because the pass protection kept breaking down and all that. So I think that was the main reason why. But isn't it weird though that ACL tears take 9 months to recover from? Don't you think? I feel like we're gonna look back at at that type of thing like 30 years from now and say the same way we look back at medicine in the 1800s, where if you had an infection, they had just cut off your limbs. Like, I feel like that's what it's going to be like. We're going to be like, can you believe it used to take almost a year to recover from ACL injuries?
Yeah, I don't know how much it's going to get quicker just because it still takes your body time to recover and you have to you basically have to rehab it as well while you're recovering from the injury. A lot of it's actually trust in your leg, like knowing that like when you plant your foot, you're not going to tear it or cause an issue again.
Yeah.
Those are the things I think with a lot of players that take a little bit more time. We're seeing with Achilles injuries. Achilles used to be an ender for every player. You can be back on the field in less than a year off an Achilles. And it's insane because it used to be like you were done. If you tore your Achilles, like even like 10 years ago, that was an injury you couldn't, like, very rarely did people try to come back from for some positions. Like then all of a sudden you started seeing, I remember who was the first one I saw that did it was the wide receiver who was on the Broncos with Demaryius Thomas, and then he went to I'm gonna remember it in like 10 minutes.
Wasn't Eric Decker, was it?
No, it wasn't Eric Decker. He was on the team at the same time as Decker.
Was it Emmanuel Sanders?
Sanders tore his tore his Achilles, and in like 9 months he went ahead and joined another team and crushed it. I can't remember which. I think it might have he joined the 49ers.
Yeah, I think that it sounds like something that would happen to the Jets.
Oh, where they would lose somebody with an Achilles, and then 9 months later he goes to the Super Bowl.
I mean, that almost actually sort of happened this year a little bit with Rodgers. He had a pretty good year with Pittsburgh after his season on the Jets last year. So that happened a little bit, sort of.
Well, that's my other concern with the Jets is they lose Elijah Vera Tucker. They brought in Parham, who I think is decent, but he's not going to be an upgrade really. The offensive line is back to feeling like the interior is going to be okay. The edges, I like the 2 tackles there, but I'm a little like there's not like it's going to be better than what he had with the Raiders. What I think he's going to have better weapons with receiver, with Adonai Mitchell and Garrett Wilson and Mason Taylor and Breece Hall compared to what he had with the Raiders.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be better than last year. The question is it going to be as good as, the last year he had with the Seahawks?
But he's also going to be a full year older, which I can't help him. He's also going to have a worse coaching staff. I mean, he at least had Pete Carroll. I think knows. Pete Carroll, I think, knows what he's doing. And I think, and Chip Kelly was the offensive coordinator last year. Who I think Chip Kelly is just a brilliant offensive mind. Like, he's one of the better offensive coordinators you can have. And Pete Carroll is one of the best head coaches you can have. Now he has Aaron Glenn, who is just a total clown. All he can do is dance on the sidelines.
Hey, that was some stylish dancing.
It was some pretty good moves. I'm not going to lie.
When he thought he was going to win that game against the Buccaneers.
Yeah. Well, it was right when they took the lead. It was just like, oh, geez.
It was a blocked field goal. It was
that was all.
And they took it back for a touchdown, and still the Buccaneers won, I think, right?
Yeah, the Bucs won
that's
that
exactly
game.
what happened.
I mean, the Jets had no business being in that game. The Alan Lazard touchdown should not have been called a touchdown, but I think the Jets got a lot of breaks in that game. But yeah, Aaron Glenn dancing on the sideline. We were just talking about Aaron Glenn dancing on the sidelines.
So here's the thing: I would take Frank Reich over Chip Kelly as an OC.
I wouldn't.
Really? When was the last time Chip Kelly ran a good offense in the NFL? It hasn't been. It was like 10. It was back when he was the head coach of the Eagles, and really, it was everybody caught on to what he was doing, which is just run a lot of hurry up.
Yeah, but he was also one of the. He didn't run a good offense in the NFL because he hasn't been in the NFL in a long time. It was all in college.
Yeah.
I think he's one of the better offensive mind. I mean, he could have done. I think his biggest problem with the Eagles is not that he didn't run a good offense; it's that he wasn't a good GM. That was his problem. He was so hyper fixated on getting like the right players for the perfect players for his system that it didn't work out. I think that was his problem. That he never should have had like the GM type of power. But I always thought he was. He'd be a good offensive coordinator, and he only lasted a year with the Raiders. Like, I don't even know if he wants to be a head coach anymore. Like, I think he's over it, if that makes sense.
Well, I do remember also the issue is more personality issues as well. People just didn't mesh with him in the building when he was with the Eagles.
So it was certainly like that with the Niners. He only lasted a year with the Niners. He's been around everywhere, and yeah, that seemed to be the case too. Like, he has but a lot of football coaches are like that. They have weird, sort of quirky personalities, without much personality at all. Very dry and hyper focused on football.
Well, and he was also coming from college, and I think one of the issues is when you're going from college to the NFL. You're dealing with people on a different level. The people who you were working with are making millions of dollars. Their money, their contract, their salaries on the line. When you were in college, you have all the power over them.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. And players, like, especially now, because players sometimes demand trades, and for all we know, Aaron Rodgers got Robert Saleh fired for all we know. Like with star players, like, they have a lot more, depending on the franchise, they have a lot more power over. I mean, look at LeBron. Like, he's effectively been a GM for the last 10 years. Professional sports and college sports are just different in that sense. Like, college players will deal with a lot more crap. And also, when you're in college, you're still a kid. You're not really you're still a student. You don't have that type of power or that type of confidence as the same way professionals do. So I do think that's true. I think Frank Reich was a fine hire for the Jets. I don't I don't know. The issue with Geno Smith is not so much a technical thing as much as just like he's not that good. He's not good. Like that's the problem. It's not even like he's not in the right. Oh, he's not in the right system. Like he wouldn't have been good in any system from the way he played last.
You don't think they're gonna draft a quarterback early on?
Not early on. I mean, they might go with Ty Simpson out of Alabama. Maybe that guy.
They'll probably trade up from round 2 if they do that, right? Or
Yeah,
because they have a second round. They have multiple second round picks too.
They do, which is definitely working in their favor. I really liked all the moves that the Jets have made during the season. They just had to be. They had to do it. They had no reason. I'm not shedding any tears about Sauce Gardner.
I was just gonna ask you that. Yeah,
Sauce Gardner doesn't deserve a nickname.
Well, I also think like we live in a day and age of the NFL where having a star corner who shuts down one player doesn't matter anymore. It's just not how it's played right now, in that having a shutdown man corner gives you a lot of advantage. Like, it helps, but it's not unless you have a very specific scheme, it's not elevating your team. A lot of teams are running a lot of too high safety, quarters coverage, cloud coverage, and you don't need a guy like Sauce for that necessarily. It helps. Like, again, you have a lot of control over, like, maybe you'll cheat the safeties a certain way, but it's not what it used to be, where having a guy like Darrelle Revis would shut down like the main guy and be like an island on somebody.
Yeah, Revis. Well, speaking of islands, I was hoping Woody Johnson would be on Epstein's island. Maybe we'd be able to win something. Then Epstein's island would be the best thing to happen to the Jets since Revis Island.
yeah. No, I was actually hoping for that too, but the monkey paw curled it with Steve Tisch instead.
Yeah, it was Steve, who's not even like a majority owner for the Giants anyway. So I don't even know how much of a difference it made. But I feel like the people on the Epstein list that actually would get in the most trouble, their names are just redacted. Like, it's the people whose names that are for like sort of innocuous reasons. Like, those are the people whose names are actually mentioned.
Definitely.
Like, Russell Wilson's name was mentioned because he wanted to maybe buy a private jet.
Oh, Geno Smith's name is in there too, because
Geno Smith is in there too.
He purchased a child-sized Jet jersey, which is like the worst thing Epstein ever did to a child. Got him a Geno Smith jersey.
It's a funny bit.
Yeah, that's child abuse right there. So that's why I'm hoping that he. But here's the problem, though. I feel like, because remember when Woody Johnson was in England for a whole year during Trump's first term, and then he just gave it to his son, and his son was no better than he was. So
his son may actually have been worse.
No, those were actually like the darkest years for the Jets, from what I remember. That was when the Jets ended up starting Bryce Petty. That's how bad it was.
Was it his son or his brother? I thought it was Chris Johnson. Was it?
I think it was his nephew.
Or it's his nephew, some other Johnson in the family. A non-Woody Johnson.
You mean the one that has less penis in the title?
Yeah, that's like, by the way, like only an old guy would have the name Woody Johnson.
Right.
There's no way this is going to come back and bite us. We'll name him Woody.
Yeah.
Do you think there's even any remote chance at all, best case scenario, Jets are going to the playoffs?
Let's put it this way. If you told me that if the Jets make the playoffs, you will die, I wouldn't be afraid.
Yeah, I don't. Here's the thing. If I saw a move this year that made me think they were a better team so far, I would maybe go, oh, you're on to something. The only thing that made me think they got a little bit better was, okay, quarterback is definitely better, but I think they actually might have gotten worse at every other position on that team, right? Between the trades that happened at the end of the season, where they got rid of Quinn Williams and Sauce Gardner, which I think were good trades and set them up for the future. But right now they are not like full on team. Like, they are in rebuild mode. The problem is the coaching staff's going, wait a second, we also have to coach for our jobs. And now we have a bunch of young guys and draft picks. Let's go ahead and sign a bunch of 38-year-olds.
Yeah. I don't Yeah, I don't see the Jets making the playoffs. And the thing with the NFL is that almost everybody's got a little bit of a chance. Like you never know. You go on a 2-game winning streak, 3-game winning streak. Like everybody has a little bit of a chance.
Right.
But the Jets are just run so terribly that.
Well, because it just feels like at least, we're still a ways away. Shit could happen. But that like feeling where there's like any bit of hope, because it's always pretty dark and dull. It's never really, it's been a while since there's that kind of feeling. But like even just last year, like I went to opening game last year, and like the way they started the game, they were kind of, they were beating the Steelers. Rodgers came back. You were like, hold on a second. Like we might actually not be the worst fucking team in the league this year. Hold on. Something's good's happening. This kid's pretty good. And then just, the game ends, how it happens. And then just, but now it just feels like I don't even have that moment coming.
Yeah. Well, I'm convinced that maybe if the Jets hadn't fired Saleh in the middle of the season, maybe we could have made a run. Not saying it's a guarantee, but we would have had a better chance to make some type of run had the Jets not just fired Saleh, who's the most competent coach on the staff. Maybe we would have been a little better off. Actually, I was at the game when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles.
No way.
I was there.
No way.
I swear to God.
What was that like when everybody found out the news and then you're just in the stand?
You could feel the energy in the stadium just drop, but it wasn't obvious right away that it was season ending because we didn't know at the time. And here's the thing: when you're at games, you actually know a little bit less than when you're not at games. Because when you're not at games, like you get a better view of what actually happens on the field sometimes, like something like an injury. You see it a little better on TV than when you're at the game. All I did was check Twitter, and Twitter always has all sorts of competing information because the thing is, you don't know. It ended up being the worst of the worst, but like sometimes you get scares and they're really not that bad. And that
did you leave the game knowing it?
No, but by the time I got home, I kind of knew.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Like when we left the game, when we left the game, my mind wasn't even on that because don't forget the Jets had won.
Right.
From what was his name? The kick returner who went to the Giants, Xavier Gibson. Xavier Gibson returned the kick to win the game in overtime, if I'm remembering correctly, against the Bills. And I remember that very vividly. And everybody was just so elated. Everybody in the state, the energy was just amazing that we won the game. And then by the time I got home, I was like, oh, yeah, it looks like this isn't going to work out. And I think I know why it happened. The game was on the anniversary of 9/11. And during the national anthem, I was in the bathroom. So maybe I think that was just some bad luck right there.
Yeah.
that
one way to do the anthem.
Yeah, during the anthem, I was in the bathroom, so I thought maybe that was just the football gods getting back at me. There's one good thing about it, though. It created an amazing meme.
Right. Yeah.
It did create that amazing meme. Like, remember, like after the new Ayatollah was remember, like he got picked and then they killed him right away. It was like, and then there was a meme that said Iran's new Ayatollah, and it had Aaron Rodgers coming out with the flag.
I didn't see that.
Maybe I'm too chronically online.
No, I saw that one too. You're not alone.
That was a pretty good one.
50%.
No, yeah, that's just what it's like to be a Jet fan. You go these games and.
But I agree with both of you. I think Saleh getting fired after because they were only like 2 games out of having a winning record. Like they was like 2-3 or 2-4 or something.
Yeah.
So it was like, what are you doing here? Like no team ever very rarely does a team fire their head coach early in the season and they do better. It happened one time where they made it to the playoffs with, I think it was Antonio Pierce did it, or no, it was Bisaccia. Bisaccia got them in the playoffs. But every other time, it doesn't usually happen, because you're spreading your guys thin. Now all of a sudden, it wasn't Saleh as a head coach. It was the D coordinator who ran a good defense, but then he became a head coach. The defense started to suck because you just gave him more duties.
Yeah.
Same thing with Ray. Like I agree. I think a year ago there was more excitement going into the league because you'd sign a free agent quarterback in Justin Fields, who was interesting, exciting, kind of a new toy. You had this offensive line that you drafted Olu Fashanu already. You had Armand Membu after the draft. You had Elijah Vera Tucker coming back. They signed Myers. Like they had all this depth. They had Tippmann coming back to play center. Okay, maybe they at least had a good, offensive line. They had Garrett Wilson. They had some interesting things. Now we're 2 years into it, and you saw how much of a mess it was after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it just depends on the other coaches on your staff too. I feel like it works a little more in college, where sometimes getting rid of the head coach just brings in a whole new energy. But like the thing with the Jets is that they weren't really that bad under Robert Saleh. It's not like they were so bad where they just like where you would just say, look, we need to just blow this whole thing up. I mean, they really weren't terrible.
I just feel like they have had the same playbook for the last 15, 20 years, honestly. It's
Yeah,
just
the same playbook and a bunch of players who can't read the playbook.
It's crazy. It's like it's so predictable, like what they're gonna like do, and like you just watch it and you're like, that's such a Jets fucking move. You know what I mean? Like,
remember 10 years ago when Geno Smith and it was actually almost 12 years ago now. Geno Smith missed a practice because he went to a movie. And I think he got confused because of the time change. I don't know if you guys remember that.
No, I don't remember him missing a practice for a movie.
Yeah.
I swear to God that happened. I swear to God. Yes, Geno's. Yeah, he did. Yeah, it happened in 2014. It was right before the. You know what it was? He mixed up the time zones.
So he was going to see a movie before practice.
Yeah, so I guess like which doesn't even make sense. The West Coast is 3 hours behind. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he thought they were further behind us. It sounds more like a daylight savings thing than anything. Yeah, that was a fun time. The 2014 Jets. That was a fun time. Can we talk about Kylie Jenner teaching poker?
Yes, the story I've been waiting to sink my teeth into.
I haven't even heard this.
So yeah, Kylie Jenner right now is teaching poker. Hold on a second.
I'm just wondering what Kylie Jenner is doing being a poker expert, considering she grew up rich and never had to gamble for rent money.
Well, you could have the opposite claim too, which is like, well, she's so rich she can afford to play as much poker as she wants.
Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Or that she can hire like the greatest teachers to just sit down with her and go, do that. Don't do this.
Yeah. So, well, it's like she just totally. Well, first of all, she's like barely even. I'm waiting for this to download right now. She's like barely even wearing clothes when she's doing it. It's like the most Kylie Jenner.
Pretty good dealing, honestly. It's.
I mean, that's a good way to pay it. Well, it's a good way to get eyeballs on it, but the problem is. Well, here's the thing, though.
Right, you're playing against her. You're just looking at her tits, and
that's a good point. You're just focused.
Like, I'm losing. I'm clearly losing.
Yeah, she could show her own cards. Nobody's even going to pay attention.
Yeah,
she's like the whole time. Yeah. So there's a whole big thing of her just showing everybody. It's like it's like explaining little things about poker. I don't know if like I said, I don't know if Kylie Jenner's ever even played poker in her life. But my thing with poker is I think it's just here. I like craps a lot more. When I go to casinos, I always play craps because it's just like I like that it's faster paced. Like poker is like baseball, craps is like football. Like it's like poker is just like it's very slow. But also in poker, it's weird vibes. You're like competing with the other people. So the vibes aren't as cool because like it's just whereas in craps, everybody's kind of on the same side. Yeah, so here it is. I'll play for like a couple of minutes and then we'll pause it.
The thrill of winning is the best. It's like Christmas morning. It's like your kid's being born. I'm just kidding. I'm Kylie Jenner, and this is how you play poker. Two years ago, on a friend trip. All the boys were playing poker and I didn't really understand it, and they just taught me how to play. And then I started watching tournaments, and that's when I became obsessed. I think I'm very competitive and I like to win, so it just feels really, really good when you're up. This is like my normal poker outfit. The goal of Texas Hold'em is to make the best 5-card hand from 2 cards you've been dealt and 5 shared cards in the middle of the table, or act like you have the best hand. There are 10 really basic ways to win a game of Texas Hold'em. I'm gonna go in order from the least valuable hand to the most. The first way you can win a hand is a high card, like an ace. Next, there's a pair of cards like 2 8s. You could also have a 2 pair, like 2 5s and 2 9s. Next, there's a 3 of a kind. 3 6s is a little crazy. Should we do 3 of another card?
Yeah, we can.
Next, there's a 3 of a kind, like 3 3s. And then there's a hand called a straight, which is 5 cards in a sequential order, like 3 4 5 6 7. Then there's a flush, my personal favorite, which is 5 cards of the same suit in any order. It's just fun, chasing a flush. Another way to win is by having a full house, which is when a player has a pair and a 3 of a kind.
All right. I tried pausing it. I don't know. I hardly know how to use this thing. Yeah, so you guys know how to play poker now?
Now I do.
About probably as okay as she does.
Well, do you think Kylie Jenner might host poker tournaments in like the basement?
I mean, when you have that much money, you need something to do, right? I just wonder what they use for collateral.
Whose post was that on? Like, whose YouTube page is that? Vanity Fair?
I think it might be Vanity Fair.
I guarantee you, it's freaking DraftKings or FanDuel or some scumbag thing like that. They pay them, get Kylie Jenner. What's the only thing that can make more people bet? Big tits. And then there you go. She's just reading off a teleprompter.
Now they're associating. You know what? That would have been a good way to get people to get vaccinated.
You know what I'm saying?
We get Kylie Jenner, like, hey, I got my vaccine.
It's just her scantily clad.
Kylie Jenner.
She's just naked, seizing out. Like,
yeah, no, I just like, yeah, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I would play in a poker tournament if Kylie Jenner was hosting it. I would totally do it. I don't think anybody would pay attention to, like I said, if we're playing poker against Kylie Jenner, you're not paying attention to the you're paying attention to something else, not the game. It's got to be a pretty good way for her to win.
Yeah,
I take it as unserious.
Of course, it's unserious. It's completely ridiculous. And
now I want to play poker, though.
Well,
it's a good emotional tool.
Now I want to play it.
Oh yeah. Well, I think we all look. It's fun. I enjoy gambling a lot. It's my all-time dream to do comedy in a casino. I know it sounds stupid, but it's like really an all-time dream for me. Like if I could,
just call Matt Bridgestone.
I don't know him.
Do you bet a lot on like games?
I do.
Okay.
Not a ton. Like it's not financially crippling, but I do like to bet on games.
Not to drop it an ad sponsorship right now, but
okay.
Me and my friend are launching an app where it's real time odds of all of like the sports books and exchange markets, so you could see what your best odds are on each bet. So if you wanted to bet the Jets win their home opener, bet MGM is giving you plus 100, FanDuel's plus 200, this one's plus 150, and et cetera, you could see which app you'll get the most money for your bet on.
I like that.
Live.
I really like that idea. I really like that idea a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'll totally send it to you at a certain point, but it's a shameful plug.
So rather than somebody needing to go into each app to see the odds,
correct,
you just go in and see. that's a pretty good idea, including prediction markets. By the way, prediction markets are becoming the biggest scam, and like I'm all for legalized gambling and everything. I gamble myself. I'm sort of a defender of gambling, but prediction markets are becoming like the biggest scam in the world. Did you see that you could bet on the Ayatollah of Iran not being in power by March 1st? You were able to bet on that. And people who bet on that didn't collect money because now they're claiming that being dead doesn't count.
What do you mean? He's no longer the Ayatollah. So
That's
what?
the point. That was
A different Ayatollah.
like
They
Yeah.
specify the way he had to be out of power. And plus, the guy was 86. Even if there was no war, there was still a good chance he wasn't going to be.
I was saying that too. Like you need to kill an 86-year-old.
Yeah.
So
That's a good point, though. Like it only works for shit like is Will Smith gonna win the Oscar? Yeah, okay, he won.
Yeah.
Like it's weird when it's like politics. I saw one the other day, and we wrote an article about it. It was like, will the U.S. confirm aliens exist by 2027? And you can make a bet on that.
how do you?
I have no idea. Like, there's no other statements. Like, they have to show a picture of it. It has to come down. It's
How do you?
so
What does
wishy-washy.
confirm mean?
U.S. confirms aliens are real by 2027. That was the bet.
Yeah, you
We'll be
can't bet
lawyers.
On Kalshi.
on Kalshi, I bet that Cardi B would perform at the halftime show.
And you lost.
And I technically lost. It was less than a push. Like it wasn't. I didn't lose all
She
my
was
money.
there,
but-
though, which is crazy.
But here's the thing: she was there and she was dancing. It was only for a couple of seconds, but technically she performed.
Hey, again with these loopholes.
Again, I mean, if you're going to use the word perform, you got to take the word perform literally.
Right. That's like dropping the ball at the 1 yard line. It's like everything was there.
Yeah, but it's not
That's
even
crazy because it's still a good guess. Like
it is. It's a
if she
really
shows
good
up,
guess.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But like the point is that I should have won, or at least maybe if they made it a push, I would maybe somewhat understand that. But like, well, Cardi B play it like it's a really good guess because she's married to Stephon Diggs.
True.
And maybe she saw him strangle his chef.
Also true.
I don't know. Yeah. But technically she performed. She was dancing. So I guess I'm sure they rehearsed it a bunch of times. Doesn't that count as performing? Am I crazy?
Right. Yeah, man. If she was a tree, they wouldn't give it to her. What?
Yeah.
She was like dancing as like one of those. Just performing.
That's technically performance. So
Yeah.
look, I don't know why that wouldn't count. And of course, yeah, like I totally got screwed on that one.
Agreed.
But yeah, these prediction markets are just getting fucking ridiculous. Like you can bet on every little thing and they can just change it to mean whatever they want at any moment. It seems like it's gotten so crazy.
Yeah, DraftKings
You
is
have to
about to
sue
launch
them.
one too.
The
What's
problem
that,
is you're
man?
gonna have to sue them.
Yeah, sue them, Nick.
Yeah. You think I have money?
Or
to sue?
GoFundMe for the lawsuit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But legitimately, that's why like when you go ahead and do something, say in Vegas, they have a sports commission that you have to go through,
Yep.
and they determine that kind of stuff. When
Yeah.
you're doing with these offshore sports books, it doesn't, like, they'll be like, well, it wasn't this, it was that, and then usually they the things that make them buckle is when there is a threat of a lawsuit or public kind of public outcry about it, where people are going, wait a second, I put in on this. That didn't mean what you said it meant. That's what I took it as.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a class action, Nick.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I
Hard to
don't
be what defines performance.
I guess if I was petty enough, I could try to do that.
How much money did you have on is the other question.
Like $10. It was nothing.
All right.
Like
What's
I'm not
the
going
return
to.
on it is the other question.
What's that?
What would be the return on it? It was $10, but was it
10 to win? Like, I think it was like 12. It was pretty good odds, but not a whole lot. I didn't bet a whole lot on it.
Oh God, bro,
So,
we're on
yeah.
camera. You're supposed to say thousands.
Yeah, well, look, I don't like to
we're
lie. To the
we're
audience.
prepping a lawsuit here.
Hey, look, it wouldn't make it a less legitimate lawsuit. It would just be more absurd for me to actually go through with it.
yeah, because your damages would be $2.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm going to pay for a whole lawyer just to. It sounds like a Seinfeld episode a little bit, like Kramer a Seinfeld
Yeah.
current episode. Kramer has like
He's
a
like,
bad
Kramer, it's $12.
house.
Yeah, he's like, I'm getting mine, Jerry. That's crazy.
Well, my idea for a Seinfeld current day episode would be actually it doesn't have to be current day. Like you know how you have places in the city that say 50-cent pizza or something like that, or dollar slices.
Yeah.
And Kramer goes in and the slice is like $1.25 or something, and he sues them. $1 pizza.
Yeah, Jackie Childs shows up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's all sorts of like Seinfeld's one of those shows where like in the current day, like there's so many scenarios that you can think of. Especially with Kramer, it feels like, especially with him. Seinfeld with cell phones.
The future show is just George and Kramer, low key, you know.
Yeah. So I don't know. Oh, by the way, can we talk about this? I keep getting all these emails from a cemetery.
You dying?
They want you to come in early?
They want me to come in early for an open house. I guess I think somebody's planning on killing me.
Okay. That's how you know.
Just so you guys know, I'm not suicidal.
Okay.
All right.
I don't get cemetery emails. I'm going to be honest, Nick.
It was pretty recent too, and it's for an open house.
Well, that makes sense. You want everybody coming at the same time to check out the crypt. You don't have to keep on opening the door and have the realtor come in and show everybody.
MTV Crypts.
And it's like a bunch of like it's not even like I got like one or two. I have like a bunch of them. In the past couple of weeks, I'm getting one like almost every day for an open house.
Did you look into buying a casket recently?
What's that?
Did you look into buying a casket recently and like give them your phone number?
I don't understand why this keeps happening.
Unsubscribe, bro.
Yeah, it's like today is, and they're so like promotional about it. They're like, today is last day for open house at Gate of Heaven. Will you protect your family?
Yeah, of course it's named that.
Come for great savings and peace of mind.
This now sounds like a cult.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna miss out on the Gate of Heaven.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
But marketing. Do they know how old I am? And I'm fairly healthy as far as I know. Like I don't think anything like that is.
Well, you don't know that your doctor could have sold your medical records to whatever company it is.
Yeah. They saw the water bottle. They're like, something must be wrong.
Well, lucky for them, I don't have a primary care doctor. So
there you go.
Yeah. So I don't know who's selling them.
Crazy.
Yeah. They're like,
it's a good bit, though. You should turn that into a bit.
They're like, prices increase tomorrow, Monday, March 16th. Oh, I got to rush.
Oh. That extra $10 a month to get the cemetery spot.
Well, I guess the good news is you don't have to worry when you're dead. You don't have to worry about paying rent.
How much does that cost? Is that like 10,000? 5?
I honestly don't know. It's not something I've ever even really thought of. But I'll get the most basic one in the world. Like, I don't get the whole thing with mausoleums when people. Why do dead people get mausoleums? Like, you're dead. Why do you need a whole mansion?
It's a shared space. It's like a condo.
Yeah,
it's true. It's a multi-family home.
Pretty soon, you're gonna see. You're gonna see like plots with like balconies on it.
That's pretty funny.
Like, it's a weird. Cemeteries are weird, man. They're weird places. You ever like cemeteries? They always close at a certain. Every cemetery. Yeah, no, like it's like closes at like 8:00.
Well, yeah, you know, they don't want people sleeping there.
I mean, I guess that makes sense.
How expensive it is to live. I mean, hey, you might go ahead and sleep in one of those mausoleums now.
Yeah.
Did you look up the number?
The number? Oh, how much it costs? Well,
let's see. To get a plot.
You know what? Let me look this up. How much?
I might invest. If it's anything like Bitcoin, it must be a good idea.
It's between 1,000 and 40. A cemetery plot in the U.S. generally costs between 1,000 and 4,500 for a single grave. So average prices often fall between 4,000 and 7,000, according to cemetery.com and quarry users.
Wow.
But total costs vary based on location, with urban areas costing more. So that would be us. Additional fees for opening and closing, vault, and maintenance can add thousands more. Jesus Christ. I hope I never die. Dying's expensive. Not to mention, you got the death taxes, too, you got to deal with.
Death taxes?
You never heard of, like, the death tax?
No.
Yeah. Or an inheritance tax, you can call it.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's the same thing. It goes to show how you feel about it based on whether you call it an inheritance tax or a death tax.
Right.
But I don't know. So I guess I'm the only one who's getting all these promotional emails. All right. It's scaring me a little bit now. You
didn't check something off on Tinder, right? This wasn't like use a dating app.
No.
It's like they saw your Tinder matches and see that that one of these girls is gonna want to kill you. So
maybe they saw my driving and like, maybe they see all the teams I root for. Like his blood pressure is gonna go up.
Yeah. Oh, he's a Jets fan. He's high risk for suicide.
Yeah. Yeah. Or I don't know.
What's happening in the baseball game right now?
The World Baseball Classic.
2-1 USA. Let's see here. Runner on second, one out.
For who?
Dominican Republic's up.
Oh, God.
Up.
Yeah.
On base, and it looks like kept him on third.
Yeah. Venezuela beat Venezuela is.
I watched that. That was crazy.
Tomorrow, Venezuela is playing Italy.
Yeah. And Italy beat Puerto Rico yesterday.
Yeah.
Talk about a loud stadium.
That's a good one. Yeah. Venezuela is playing Italy, which has got to be weird for Francisco Cervelli because he's coaching the Italian team, but he's from Venezuela. Weird. I mean, the Italian team is really just an Italian American team. That's all it is.
No, my favorite.
Are you a Yankees fan or a Mets fan?
Mets.
Are you guys all Mets fans?
I'm actually a San Francisco Giants fan.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Walter, you like the Mets?
I haven't been super invested in baseball in like a decade or two. So
okay.
I guess I would say Mets, but that would be like saying like, yeah, I'm a fan of like any of them, I guess. Like it's
Right.
Well, Harry's the only person I know who is a fan of teams from all corners of the country.
Yeah, I always tell people I'm like my favorite college football team's in Mississippi and my favorite baseball team's in frickin' San Francisco, so you can't get more diverse than that.
In NFL,
yeah, that's true. Why? What basketball team do you like?
Knicks. Casual, but
okay, that makes sense.
Well, I like the Knicks because they're named after me.
That's by that logic, I should like the Rays.
Yeah, I don't know if Tampa Bay Rays fans even exist.
Right.
From the attendance they have in their stadiums.
Pretty bad.
Yeah. Pretty bad. But yeah.
Florida sports in general have like weird attendance though. Like if they're not Miami, like it does feel like a lot of their like Jacksonville and Tampa Bay.
A lot of Florida teams have a lot of Florida fan bases have a lot of trouble just supporting their teams.
Yeah. Like nobody went to Florida Panthers games until they start winning Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
Why would you think their team is more the Heat or the Dolphins?
Who do I think what?
Like Florida's team is like that most like they're leaning on like the Heat or the Dolphins or I guess the hockey team.
I would say it depends on what part of Florida, but I would think of Miami Heat, especially from like LeBron's era. It makes me think like Miami Heat is at least a fairly good team. Like the Dolphins stink now. So
Well, they went to the finals a couple of years ago too.
they did. That was yeah, they did. They did. That was the year. I think it was the year that they beat the Knicks. It was the year that Jokic won.
Yeah, it was. The Nuggets won that year.
Yeah.
I was thinking when they lost to the Lakers, I was thinking like, oh no, that was a COVID year, but I forgot they lost to Denver too more recently.
Yeah. So when I think of Florida's team, I think of Miami. I think of Miami. But Florida's a huge ass state. Like it's like multiple different states in one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to group it all together. But yeah, it does seem like in that state, because here's the thing, the weather is good. People don't, I think in areas where the weather is really nice, it's a little bit harder for them. And you know, and they're more laid back culturally there. I think it's just harder for them to support, for those fans to support teams sometimes, it seems like.
Well, also opposing teams will come and like their fan bases will come and watch. Like that happens.
Yeah, all their fans retired there.
Yeah,
that's true. There's probably more retired Met and Yankee fans in Miami than there are actual Marlins fans.
Yeah,
like
yeah, definitely. The Marlins haven't been good in like a long time.
Marlins are. Yeah, they haven't. I mean, look, they're good enough to beat the Mets in meaningless games for them, just to knock us out. The Marlins are very good at that.
Didn't they beat the Yankees in a World Series in like 2003?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they did.
They did. So they won more recently than the Mets did. So I'll give them that. 2003, but 2003 is a long time ago. That's already 23 years ago.
23 years, yeah, man.
Like
so long. Even the last Yankees win is a long time ago.
Yeah.
2009. Yeah. Well, that's why Yankee fans love history so much. They love the time frame where they're just so dominant.
Yeah, 80 years.
Yeah, well, yeah, 80 years ago, the Yankee fans are just really obsessed with that.
Or just for 80 years even.
So, well, I mean, look, the same thing is true with Ole Miss. Ole Miss was amazing in like the early 60s.
Yeah.
They've had the best season. This past year, they had the best season.
No, I was telling people this is literally our best season since segregation ended.
Yeah.
It's and the sad part is I'm not even joking. That's a factual statement.
Yeah, no, it's actually true. That they were that. Ole Miss, they haven't really been good in a long time.
Yeah. Well, we had some fun years in like the mid 2010s with like. I remember in 2014 we had a killer defense. We beat Bama that year, but our offense was absolute dog shit. And then the next year in 2015, it was the exact opposite. We had Chad Kelly was our quarterback. We were putting up 40, 50, seemed like every week, but our defense couldn't stop anything.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I went to Ole Miss for a college visit when I was looking at colleges, and they showed us a statue of James Meredith, who was the first black student to attend at Ole Miss, and they're explaining history. It's like, yes, he here's a statue. I said to myself, okay, but they never explained why he needed a statue.
Yeah, of course they didn't want to talk about that part of it.
No, they didn't.
But yeah, well, I guess that's the thing. I never looked at any schools in the South, so I never. In fact, I've never even been to Mississippi ever.
You're not really missing much, don't.
I didn't think so, but if I were to go, I'd want to go to an Ole Miss game.
Yeah, me too. Like
tailgating
at the Grove's on my bucket list.
I've always wanted to go to an SEC football game. I've never. I love SEC football. I've never been to a game.
Yeah. No,
I go to a lot of games, but that's it.
I was just in Minnesota, and that city sucks. And but the way they have their arena set up is actually like really cool. They're pretty pumped about like the sports and shit. You know, you're kind of just like downtown, and you can see like where the Vikings play, where the Twins play, and then where the Timberwolves play. It's pretty hype.
You were in Minneapolis, right?
Yeah.
And you were doing shows there.
Yeah. No, nobody showed up to everything. Everything got canceled. It was like a nightmare. There was just
No
no
way.
people out.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn.
They were like, "Oh, we've just been canceling like everything because like nobody wants to come downtown for because like ever since like the riots and all the shit that goes on there."
So the
Um
comedy shows in Minneapolis are like the daycare centers.
Basically they're not even happening. I went to one just because I was like in the area after I found this
You went to a
out. And
daycare center?
yeah, yeah. I went to the Leering Center, dude.
The Leering Center.
And so I went to like the nearest like club and I go in and like there's supposed to be something scheduled. I saw it and I like go in and there's just like nobody there. There's like one person there. I'm like, I'm here for the show. They're like, you're the only person that like came. They're like, do you want to do time? I'm like, it's just me and you. We could just sit down. Like, if anything, like this is crazy. Like it was just nobody there. And I called the Mall of America. They have a comedy club. They were like, oh, we're not doing it tonight. And I was just like, this is crazy.
Wow.
Oh my
Shit.
god.
Yeah, and like I went to bars downtown. I went into a strip club just because, and like everything was just empty. It was like a ghost town. Like this, and the city's like pretty nice. And every bar you go into is like 2 people. Big bar, 3, 4 people. Went to the strip club. The bouncer's like, bro, you don't even want to come in. Like, there's nobody here. We didn't even call a girl yet. I'm like, what? It just everything there was just wiped.
Wow. But did you go because you got booked on shows? Is that why you went?
No. I had to go for work, and then I'm just trying to tie in the comedy stuff on top of that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I didn't just like lose out on money for no reason.
Okay. Yeah. I can imagine not every scene is like our scene. Like, not every scene is like our scene. Some scenes
That's
are
for
just
sure.
totally dead. No, that would. Yeah, you know it's bad when even the strip club doesn't want you.
A lot of Somalians, though. That's true.
Yeah, maybe you have like a Somali stripper.
Maybe.
Have you
I don't
guys
know.
traveled to any other scenes for stand up? You
Austin.
guys have been to
Diego.
Austin, right?
We went to Austin. I've never been anywhere else other than
I did
New
San
York.
Diego. That was cool.
Well, you said the comedy in San Diego was very bad, right?
Yeah, but the scene is cool.
Okay, I see what but the comics themselves aren't good.
Yeah, pretty much every comic I saw was really bad. There's all like storytelling vibes. There's like no hardship. They're not like angry. They have no like set up punch. It's like a whole different kind of. It's like more artistic approach, or just poemy. I don't know how to explain it.
That sounds very California.
But it was easy to get to mics. I got on like a show, and like there's shit going around. There's a ton of clubs downtown. You know, they have a Laugh Factory. They got a comedy store. They got like a bunch of stuff going on, which I didn't know.
They have a comedy store in San Diego too?
Yeah, La Jolla.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just an LA thing.
No, there's another one.
They have mics there at the comedy store?
I think they have one that was not happening when I was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But the Laugh Factory doesn't, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I feel like the Laugh Factory is too big. I mean, some like the biggest, like most prestigious clubs in New York, they don't have open mics. Like the Cellar doesn't have open mics or anything like that. But
Yeah, but
a lot
other than the Cellar, I feel like they kind of do. Like the Stand does, the Comic Strip does.
Yeah.
New York Comedy Club does. I'm trying to think what else. Maybe Gotham doesn't.
Gotham used to.
Gotham
they
is very.
used to.
Like 6 years ago, they did. 7 years
think-
ago. It was a long time ago.
I think
Yeah.
some places stopped having mics after COVID.
Could be that. That's a good reason to stop.
But Gotham, from what I understand, is more like preppy. Like people are, it's all very rich people, and they dress in suits and things like that. I've never performed there before, but I've heard that.
Gotham's more of a tourist trap.
Yeah, it probably is. And I think a lot of the people that actually go to see comedy shows in the city are tourists disproportionately, because those are the people that are willing to actually. I mean, if you think about it, if you're on vacation, those are the only people who actually have time to go see a comedy show.
Yeah.
Native New Yorkers are in a rush all the time. And they ignore you if you try to talk to them. So the barkers that are flagging people down, most of those people are probably tourists anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I think one time I did a show at Broadway, and I think like most of the crowd was like all European, and which wasn't good for me because my references were too American for them to understand.
Oh, bro.
Broadway is weird because it's not very well lit. It's like it looks like you're going like it's close enough to like Midtown Manhattan Broadway where like the name makes sense, but it looks like the learning center that
Yeah,
Ray
like a
went to go
charter
visit out in
school.
Minneapolis.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a Leering Center.
Yeah, it does.
And the funny thing is, like, they have a few different rooms, and like I've had some really good sets there before. I've done those back in my days of doing bringers, which I don't really do anymore, but I've done a few bringers there. And the bottom, like that bottom floor that they have, that bottom room, it feels like I'm in like a high school cafeteria, like from the way it's set up.
Yeah, it is very like that.
Like it almost doesn't feel like a real comedy club, but at the same time, it's like it can fit a ton of people. Like it's a really, really big room and a lot of people. And that might have been like the biggest room I've ever performed in before is in downstairs of the Broadway Comedy Club.
Well, think about it. They're doing like 20-person bringer, like people who are each bringing 5 people. They're booking, 10 to 15, 20 comics on these bringer shows. Yeah. They're trying to fill out a room with probably 100 people, right?
Yeah, probably even more. Yeah, probably roughly 100 people. Maybe even more. Like some of these bringers, because some people bring more people, and some people, because like when I did it, I ended up bringing like 8 people at least, probably even more. So
that was the showcase thing at Broadway?
Yeah, the industry room.
Yeah, industry room.
But it seems like only like newer comics do that. Like older comics that have been in it for a long time, or not a long time, but like a couple of years. They never really seem to do those shows.
I feel like the only thing it's really good for is if you like were trying to get a really hot 5-minute tape.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Because you'll bring 8 people and there'll be 8 other comics that bring 8 people, and it's all like that new beginner, we're here to support kind of crowd.
Yeah.
So you'll crush. But then everybody's tape is from there too. Also, I hear that from so many people. They're like, "Well, I have a really good set, but it's from Broadway."
But do you think that matters to bookers?
I mean, it depends where it is, I guess. I mean, if you're sending that to like somewhere else in New York, maybe they'd go, "Oh." But if you're sending it to like the Rhode Island Comedy Festival, that's probably fine.
I mean, look, having a tape is having a tape. It's not such a bad thing.
Yeah, 100%. It looks like a great show. So,
like, I mean, I guess maybe I guess that's true. It's not the only place that does bringers, or the only place that you can get a tape, but it's an easier way to get a tape.
It's a great way to get a tape.
The problem is though, like they also have like a 2-drink minimum and everything, and bringing
it's like $18 for a Budweiser.
Oh, it's fucking ridiculous. And
yeah,
also,
it's really expensive to go to their shows.
Yeah, and also it's like, you bring your friends or your family, and you feel kind of bad because you're taking time out of their day, and then they get there and it's like, oh, you got to buy a drink or whatever. Nobody's ever with me ever complained or anything, but I always felt a little bit guilty.
100%. No, it's a lot of money. It's like $20 tickets.
Yeah.
If that's including you flew there by a hoverboard, you didn't have to pay a subway, a bus ticket, a parking thing, a meter, the toll. So you're already in debt like $100 just to get to the show, kind of, and then it's like a 2-drink minimum. And then, what, you're going to eat something? Oh, gosh, it is crazy.
Get some from the Turkish place next door.
Right.
Yeah. So that's just what that's why I don't like doing bringers. Like, it just feels like it's just kind of an inconvenience. I mean, I understand why they have it though, because I totally, like, I understand from the club's perspective. It's just like, for me, I just don't want to keep doing that.
It's not that big of a deal if it was $10 tickets and no minimums in there.
Yeah, but the club also has to make money, and I totally understand it from like an owner's perspective, where we need to keep the lights on.
At least if they want to drink, that's on them. They wanted a drink, they go get it. Not like your parents are forced to get like drinks.
Yeah. So actually, I think at Gotham they have like a 10-person bringer.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Like, do you think Like, what makes them think comics have 10 friends?
Yeah, right. I got
Who
into this
aren't
thinking
other
they didn't have any
comics.
friends. What was it? Even now, like they're doing like comedy like festivals and contests that have bringer requirements. Like St. Mark's was doing that last summer.
Really?
They were
Wow.
doing like you submit a tape for $20 for them to look at your tape, and then if you get on the festival, you have to bring 4 people or something. And like we have a waiver thing, but like I think I was so like they could waive their friends in or whatever. But I just remember seeing that. I'm like, oh, this is insane. By
So
the
you
end
have-
of this, you spent like $300.
So you have to pay $20 for them to look at your tape without even knowing if they're going to pick you.
That's what most comedy festivals are, man. Like that's why people. I mean, that's bringer shows and comedy festivals are scams in comedy. There are some like good comedy festivals to get in on, and you have to find the right ones. But the amount of them that are like, I remember when I started, somebody tried running like a North Jersey comedy festival, and it was like it was at all the open mic spots. It was like at a City Lounge and Nicky's and Little Ferry. And I'm sitting there going like, guys, we know who's running this. It's the 3 people who run shit at those locations.
And did you have to pay money for them to consider you?
Yeah, but the funny thing is they were trying to make it like they were trying to hide who it was. And then eventually people just started calling them out, being like, what's this weird shit that's going on? Like, what's this weird like comedy festival that like nobody wants to admit, like, hey, like this is going on at the open mic rooms, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, and also, yeah, Nicky's that was an interesting place. I that was the most miserable room I've ever done. Nicky's. I feel like I've never not bombed at Nicky's.
Did you do it when it was an open mic or a book show?
No, an open mic.
Because I know when the pandemic happened, they brought it back as an open mic, right?
Yeah, they did. It's in Little Ferry. Vic used to host it, Cedeno. He used to host that mic, and I used to do it a lot. I think it was on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. And the room, it just felt miserable. Like it felt like there was a really big space between like the stage and where everybody was sitting, which is not good. And I think there was a bar right there, but I feel like the people at the bar didn't want us there. If that like it's not like it's not, but that's not always the case though. Like at City Lounge, I feel like the people that go there want to see comedy. If like typically, or if not, they don't mind. But at some places they don't mind, or they like that you're there. In this place, they clearly didn't want us there. So it was the vibes were off, and you know what vibes do to your set when. Like if the vibes are off, it screws up everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that they haven't done that one in they haven't done that one in quite a few years.
When did you start? Like 6 years ago?
No, like 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
they used to do that room before the pandemic, but it was like a booked mic, like a book show where you would do 10 minutes. So then when Vic brought it back, there were just so many. I remember there being like so many Tuesday rooms when that came back too, because they were doing like Boiler Room again, I think, or they were doing something in Tuesdays.
I've never done wait. Where is the Boiler Room? Is that in Bloomfield? Garfield.
Well, it used to be people would be booked at Nicky's. They would go do Nicky's and they would come to Garfield to do the Boiler Room. Yusef used to run that at one point. Before Yusef, I don't remember who ran it, but
I think he ran it with Carl.
He did, but that was after the pandemic. He might have ran it again with Carl, but before the pandemic, he ran it with Carl, and then they were also running Elmwood, the open mic over there for a little bit too.
In Elmwood Park.
Yeah, the one that we used to do outside during the pandemic underneath the billboard.
Oh, I don't remember that. I wasn't around. Ray wasn't around either. But yeah, imagine that.
That was the 2020. Hey, we have to do stand up outside times.
Well, look, it's better than doing a Zoom stand-up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm glad I never had to do that. Imagine doing stand-up through Zoom on Zoom. Like, it just really isn't stand-up at that point. Like does
everybody else leave their microphones on? Like, does the audience leave their mics on?
If they don't leave their microphones on, you don't even get any feedback.
Right, but then also like you could just be hearing them the same as you. Like if You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah,
seems so.
That's the problem.
Yeah, like somebody like coughs or sneezes. It's just like, I mean, I guess it's like a show. I don't know.
I don't know how anybody did that. Luckily, I didn't start till after all that shit was over. But yeah, that's all that. Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't have to deal with that.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a weird scene. Yeah, I don't know. Every scene is I feel like most scenes outside of our scene though just aren't good comparatively, because the thing with New York is that the best of the best, like the reason nobody was good in San Diego is because all the good San Diego comics just moved to New York
Or
Right.
LA.
Or
or LA.
Like there's pretty much 3 places you can go right now in comedy if you want to make a job, make it to be your job. And
Yeah.
it's either, or the other option is you have to hope that a touring headliner picks you up at a club.
Yeah.
So and goes, hey, I like what you're doing, and you can go on tour with them. But most of the time, even if you're getting picked up by a touring headliner, you're really only getting picked up in that area. Like, if you're in New York and the headliner likes you, when he's doing shows up in New York and Vermont and Massachusetts, they pick you up. Otherwise, you just got to go to New York or LA, or I guess Austin now does have that kind of going on, because you at least can network with guys who are going on tour.
Yeah. Definitely.
But like all these ancillary scenes right outside of New York, it does feel a bit stronger than, like, say, when you go to PA, the numbers that are out there, Alaska. I remember Taylor, a friend of ours, Taylor, went to Alaska, and he was telling me, he's like, there's 20 comics in all of Alaska.
The whole state.
Wait.
You could actually get in places.
There's a
What?
piece of Taylor lore I haven't heard. Taylor went to Alaska for
He didn't go for comedy, but he did comedy when he was in Alaska, because he went like for vacation, and it was he got on a bunch of shows, and he said like there's only like 20 comics up there, and like you can make like legit money being like one of the only comics in Alaska, because like people
I'm
go up
moving
there
to
on
Alaska
tour.
then.
It's like being the tallest dwarf. Like you are going to the area and being like the best of the worst.
Here's the thing though. Would you want to do that though? Because you're not going to get better by being around only 20 other comics in the whole state.
Nah, but I've always wanted to perform in an igloo, so
Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like New York, if anything, really is the place to be. I mean, Austin, I guess Austin is one of those cities now, but the Austin scene is different than New York and LA. Well, I don't know about the LA scene at all, but I've never even been to California, but I mean, I'd like to go at one day to just try performing there. But Austin is different because Austin, there's a lot more like, I don't know, the vibes are different, if that makes sense. Like there's a lot more like different types of shows in Austin. Whereas in New York, it's mostly just regular comedy shows. Although there are some weird themes at Broadway. Like Broadway has shows that are very oddly ethnic, if that makes sense. Like it would be a show that's called like a South Asian comedy show. They have South Asian nights at Broadway. I'm just like, well, who's that appealing to? Like, who cares about if they're South Asian?
The South Asian community. And like, honestly, dude, that is a thing in comedy right now, where there's like nicheified comedy, where especially like, for specific specific ethnic groups. Like I know people. I know a guy right now who he makes more money doing Russian shows than he does in English.
Really? And he speaks Russian.
Yeah, he speaks Russian fluently. And he's doing shows, and he's like, I'm getting more time and more money and doing stuff in Russian. And this is a guy who is passed at clubs, in the city, but he's just like, I'm getting like more headlining gigs doing Russian work than I am doing English work right now.
Interesting. Well, the South Asian show though is still, they're like English shows, but it's just all the comics happen to be South Asian.
Well, there's that too, where people relate to it. It's like when people go and see Sebastian Maniscalco, there's people who just love Italian stuff, like Rodia, same thing. All these people who like really relate to the Italian thing. Yeah. You could do an Italian comedy festival, people will pop out for it. You do.
Well, there is. It's called PaisanCon. I don't know if that counts, but
oh yeah, it does.
I mean that's basically the whole thing. Is that they never asked me to perform, but you
didn't try to sign up?
No, I didn't. It didn't really occur to me. How do you get up? Because you could probably. I mean, you don't have to.
I did it. I did it.
How did it go?
I thought it went pretty well considering how bad it could have gone. You know what I mean? So it's in this like it was in the Williams Center in the big theater. So
Yeah.
like I'm performing on this huge stage, sitting like 400 seats, but with like 40 or to 50 people.
Oh,
Wow.
So it's that big, but everybody is like scattered. They're not even sitting in the front. It's like one person over there, one
That's
person
bad.
over there, 40, 50 people max. So, and now you have this like big spotlight on you in your face. So you can't even really see them. So I'm
Yeah.
like,
Ooh.
navigating like my set, and then you hear like a laugh come from like way over there and another one over there. And it's just like, but you're totally in plain sight. The entire event could see you. It's just not everybody sitting down there. But like they can hear you like way back, like in like the pit where the people are doing like those autographs and shit. I don't know if you've ever been to PaisanCon, I guess so.
No, but I've been in that room before at the Williams
Right.
Center. I was doing a contest. I was doing a contest there, and I thought it would be like a packed room. The only people there were comics. There were like no
Okay.
people,
Yeah.
no civilians, just comics in a huge room. I don't know what they were thinking, putting us in a huge room. We could have had it in a closet, and like there would have been enough room. And it was a huge stage too, huge stage. And the thing with comedy is that there's a reason why at comedy clubs they pack everybody together. They do that at the Cellar. They pack all the audience members together because that's better for laughter and for vibes and everything. You don't want it in a room for comedy. You don't want everything spaced out because that's
No.
very bad. It's bad for the comics. It's bad for the audience. It's bad for everybody. And that's what this room was. So I don't think my set was necessarily bad. I think the set may have actually been pretty good, but it didn't feel good because everybody else, it was like there was hardly anybody in the audience.
Right.
Everybody's all like spaced out, and you're on
it's the weirdest. Yeah.
It's super, super weird vibes. And I mean, needless to say, I didn't win that competition. But there was like 5 people, I think, in total in the whole room, all comics.
Did you like the Austin scene or no when we went?
No.
Because I gotta say, although it wasn't like the craziest thing in the world and all, but I feel like I did more in 4 days there than I did, or it took me to do in like 5 months in New York City. If you think about it like that.
I mean, just
Like getting booked on shows or doing mics?
Well, like I performed to a show that had like 100 people plus at it. And that was like a show, even though it was like an odd show. It was like a weird thing.
Oh, is that the one I was at?
Yeah, but the one that, that big one that I think you showed up late to because you weren't pulled out of the thing.
Oh, the banana phone one
at the creek. Yeah, it was a weird show.
I was so upset I couldn't get on that one. I would have that seemed like so much fun.
It was crazy, and the room was like packed. Like it was like 120 people.
It was a big room, and everybody was all packed together. I'd never seen a show in New York like that.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then from that, then I got a booked show at that green room spot that they had the
where we roasted everybody.
Right. But my point being is like to get a paid show in New York and to perform to that many people, I feel like it took me way longer in New York.
Yeah.
Where in Texas, like although I was lucky and all, like it did happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with me, my experience was, even though we went on the same trip, my experience was way different because I didn't even get on the banana phone show. I didn't get selected for some reason. And I didn't get booked on any shows, so it felt different. The weird thing about Austin's scene is that it's like I said, like there's a lot more niche types of shows, but also it just seems more like I don't know. I guess the vibes were a little different. Their scene is more laid back than New York scene, which sounds like a good thing, but it's really not because the hosts just waste a ton of time.
Yeah, it's drunk comedy type vibes.
Yeah, a lot of drunk comedy and not good comedy. Like I don't want a comedy scene to be really laid back because that usually means worse comics and like worse hosts.
Yeah.
To the point where it becomes like an inconvenience.
Bro,
and that's
when you were on stage and those people were fighting at the NAR bar, that was the funniest thing of all time.
Oh no, and that went viral too, and it was about like Israel and Palestine.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That was actually it's all on it's all. And I was wearing my Jets hoodie too.
Yeah, you were, which I even funnier.
Very vividly remember. Wait, I got to screen share this. Hold on. I don't think
Why?
these guys have seen it. Where I was doing comedy in Austin. It was an outdoor mic. Where is it? Let's see if I have it. Let me see. Can't find it. It's got to be here. It's got to be here somewhere. Basically, I'm like in shorts and with a Jets hoodie doing comedy, and I just didn't say anything because the host and this other kid were just arguing about Israel and Palestine the whole time. And it was like a queer for like what you imagine a queer for Palestine looks like. Like he had like the Palestinian flag in his ear. It was super strange. I think it's I can't. It's on your whatever. But it was very funny. It was very funny. And somebody commented, it was like the guy on stage is a legend. I thought it was funny. But yeah, I couldn't really get any material in on that show. Yeah, Narbar. Remember when Narbar had a crowd work show?
Yeah.
And there was no crowd.
Yeah, there was like literally it was like 2 people in all comics.
Yeah, like in all comics. It was like the rest were like was us. Yeah, that was super weird. Like why you like there's not enough crowd work in comedy as it is. We have to have crowd work shows.
No, I kind of like that though, because I feel like that's how people like start out getting on. Like, because G lives there, and G's been crushing it doing these roasts, and they're helping him get like real shows because everything's like a gimmick show because all the real shows are happening at the real clubs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So then they have these smaller things that they want to get everybody on, and then you get a nice clip out of it. You post it, show it to some G Pal 1, 2 things in a row, and they're in front of like because the panel is like real comics, you know, that are like somewhat popular-ish in the area
in the scene.
Yeah, and
it sounds like Banana Phone a little bit.
Well, yeah, but it's a gimmick thing, and then if people like, because I still got to go on stage and tell like 4 jokes, you know, so. And then they laugh, and then, you know, although they roast you, and then you get to go back at them and see if they hate you or whatever. You know, somebody will come up to you after and be like, I loved it, or I hated it, you know, so you actually did get to do some comedy.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't like the roasts, but I have all you know, all is fair in like getting your chance to tell a joke on stage for some extra publicity for sure.
I don't mind being roasted. I'm not look.
I just don't. The roast battle is tough.
Oh,
like,
the roast battle. That's
not my energy.
No, not me neither. No. Yeah. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. My shift is about to start in 2 minutes. That's our show this week. Otherwise, I'd go on. I'd love to go on longer. I just can't. I'll be back, I think, in 2 weeks. I don't think I'm going to be around next week. Thanks for tuning in. This is the ETB Lounge. I don't know if you guys have any shows to plug.
EBT
ETB Lounge.
Oh yeah,
not EBT.
Is that how you pay everybody's food spend?
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for having me, Nick. That was fun.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it very much.
Bye.
See you guys.
Peace out.